Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Loretta McNary Show, and I'm your host, Loretta McNary. I'm telling you, I'm having a day. It is so amazing, and it is about to get even better, and yours is too. Did you know that 1 in 6 Black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer compared to white men, which is only 1 in 8? Did you know that Black men die from prostate cancer at twice the rate of white men? Did you know that Black men are less likely to be covered by insurance? Don't worry about all the did you know. We have help. We have some really down to the heart conversations about this because we know our men need us women. Men need each other. And we're going to give you some answers to the question, well, what do you do? What do you do? So I have joining me a whole cast today. We're going to start with Monica Renee. She is a publicist, a writer, a producer, and all of that. So she decided she wanted to do something about prostate cancer and in honor of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month of September. Monica, hi.
Hi. How's everyone?
We're all great.
In television
what was your
land.
inspiration for taking on another project as if you needed one more?
Oh my goodness. This particular project was definitely a project that was built out of love, simply because prostate cancer for me is personal. My father succumbed to, he's on the other side as a result of complications and prostate cancer. You know, something as simple as he thought he had a bad golf swing, a backache, etc. And he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So that's where it just kind of all started. Yeah. So I said we have to let people know about this in the most creative way that we can.
And you did. You got a group of friends together, and you got Renzo Davis, who is a producer, and this is his debut as a director. You have, and we're going to bring these guys on because I want to have this conversation with everybody, but everybody can do something about this. Anything that is near and dear to your heart, whether it's prostate cancer, breast cancer, whatever it is, you can do something. Don't say it's small. Everything counts. So we're going to bring on our other guests. We have Paul Showtime Gaffney coming on with us. Paul, welcome again to the Loretta McNary Show.
Hey, Loretta, what's going on? How you doing?
You know, we over here cooking, honey. These topics and these conversations need to be had. And I just want to thank you for being so vulnerable and transparent to share your story with us today. I'm going to bring on Renzo, the director of this project that we're talking about. And then, Paul, I want you to kind of share your story. Let's bring Renzo on. Hey, Renzo.
Hello, how you guys doing?
We're all doing amazing. Was this a personal project for you as well? I know for everybody on here, because I have a dear friend who was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and we went through the treatment. I was right there with him, and my brother had a scare, but his test came back that he was okay. So do you have a personal story, Renzo?
Yeah, you know, I have two grandfathers, one by blood, one by relations. And both of them actually suffered from cancer. I can't say it was specifically prostate, but I believe for certain one of them for sure. I think, to make a long story short, it is personal for every African-American male and the people that care about them. So yes, I guess is my short answer to that. Everything is personal when it comes to us. We get treated a certain way. We need to take advantage of every opportunity that we can to get the word out and then the action behind it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All of us can play a part. So, Paul, let's start with you. Share as much of your story. You know, I don't want you to share it all because I want them to watch the video that was done. I want them to reach out to you all. But do you remember the day you got your diagnosis?
Yes, I do. It was, it was funny because, well, it wasn't funny. It was something that I was going through with a case of diabetes. My mouth was dry, and I just couldn't taste well, and I was wondering what was going on. I went to the doctor to test for that, and then, he said, "Well, you're at the age now. Excuse me, you need to go get a biopsy done, going to get a colonoscopy. We went through all the tests, the colonoscopy, you were clean, you're okay. 10 more years, come back and check it out. Then we went to the biopsy. Really, I know I'm making it a joke, but that was probably the most terrifying part of the whole thing because of what they had to do and where they had to go to do what they had to do. And so one of the things is, and I had to tell this funny story about it. They were doing the test, and we was in there, and the doctor was, doing the biopsy thing, and he had me positioned and doing stuff, and I was like, my God, we got to hurry up and get through with this. He wanted to start talking about basketball and things of that nature, and I was like, man, come on and do what you got to do while we get this over with, because I'm in pain. And it was, the thing was that when I walked out, the nurses looked at me like, poor baby, just poor baby. So I was laughing at that. I try to find humor in almost everything. But once you find that out, you came back for the results. And it was out of the 4 areas, it had a spot on one. And so it said, well, you can wait a little bit, but if you don't want to get worse or in that regard. So we went back again. Went by a percentage, and they said, it's better to take it out and get it done. When you caught it early, you're young, it's a good sign that you came when you did, and there wouldn't be a lot of complications. But as a male, you go through the things of, okay, what are some of the side effects? What are some of the things that happen when you go through the surgery part of it? Or even, so you had a chance to go, or option to go through the chemo part. What are some of the side effects you have to go through? And, as a male, it's, some sexual things that you won't be able to do for a while. And you're asking how long this is going to be. Do I really want to go through that? And, and you had to realize it's more than just that. It's your life. It's things that is more valuable than a small discomfort in that regard, especially when you got, your family and things that you called to do. And you got to really, I love Jesus. I love him, but I don't need to see him right now. That wasn't my goal to go, to see him at that point. I see you inside, but I don't need to go up there and see you. So, you just got to look at things realistically.
Absolutely.
I know, again, it's I'm doing it lighthearted, but it really gets scary because you hear all the stories, and it's a lot of older gentlemen that got caught, found out late, or when it's too late to find out because of, scared to go to the doctor, scared to go do things, especially the African Americans, some of all the science things that has happened to us in history. You can see why they don't want to just, run to the doctor at that point, especially when they were living during those times. But now you need to really, the technology is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to go get checked. If you're over 40 or getting close to 40, you need to go and get checked. The earlier, the better.
Yeah.
And you came up with a statistic just a second ago, 1 out of 6. And that's amazing. You hang with at least 6 people when you hanging out.
Yeah.
So one of y'all in there, is going to have this problem. I got a older nephew that just went through he went through the surgery also, and we're closer in age. And it's just, we talk about it. We talk about things, how it affect us, what we, went through at the beginning, how you taking care of yourself a lot better now to do, how you eat, how you exercise, to make sure that you're in a position for, your kids.
Yeah.
You want to be there.
Yeah. So
Speaking of talking about it, that's the whole purpose of Get Screened. It's to begin to normalize the conversation between family members and what have you, so that they can have those conversations to say that, hey, Grandpa had it, Papa had it, what have you, but I'm not trying to have it, And you mentioned relations or what have you. One time you said, it's okay to sit on a bench for a while. And trust me, I'm just kind of saying what I heard on the street. But at some point, there comes a point in everyone's life as we mature that, some things just aren't as warranted as they may have used to have been in perhaps your 20s or 30s or what have you. Sometimes people get to a point where they're built for comfort.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be on the bench for a moment if it means that you're going to be here for a lifetime. If that's going to prolong your life, that's what we want.
That should be forefront, right? It should be forefront. But I can see how you want to get those other questions answered because they're valid questions. And if you don't know the real truth about something, you're just hearing the word on the street. And even if your cousin or your brother or your dad went through it, it's going to be different for every man, like it is for, childbirth is different for every woman. Right. So just get the facts.
Right. When I said that, I meant when it came to sexual relationships,
right?
Because this is a candid conversation,
yeah.
And some things that men need or think that they need, women don't need at that point because they would much rather.
We'd rather have our man, right?
Exactly.
Well, and your man want to have his man.
Well,
and so
indeed, I can.
But,
right. I'm sure.
But I say that in the fact that, like you said, it was more people in our family that had it, and went through the surgery that we didn't know,
right?
And they just didn't tell it, and it's unfortunate that we don't talk about it more,
right?
Even in our family, I can name probably 3 or 4 more people that's in our immediate family I see almost all the time. Didn't know that they went through the surgery, didn't know that they, going through the recovery pieces of it. And one of the things that I think also will help is when we talk about it, it's that yes, you're going to recover. It might not be tomorrow, but you're going to recover those things, and you'll recover. So you're not going to be just dormant, I guess, or sitting on the bench all the time. You're going to get back in the game.
You're going to get back up.
You're going to get back in the game.
And your loved ones are going to be right there waiting on you. But that brings us in this conversation to, Loretta, sometimes men just put off. And not to give the whole plot away or what have you, but Renzo can definitely speak to that in regards to his direction of Get Screened when, I don't know if you have that up or not, but finding time.
We're definitely going to add the video in editing. I just wanted to keep this conversation flowing and going. And then I want to send a link out so that people can get those views up to the video. And let's talk about the video, Renzo, and your thoughts on it when it was presented to you. How did you feel about it?
Well,
Okay.
Take 2. He is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about it. It was exciting for me because, I've been an advocate for health and a whole bunch of other things that pertain to not only Black men, but the Black culture, the Black race, children, wives, women, nieces, nephews, and so forth and so on. And it was a great opportunity for me to really just any type of inhibitions or anything of that nature that I had about doing my first project solo directing is that who cares? At this moment in time, some things are just bigger than our egos. They're bigger than our nervousness or our fear factors or whatever the case is. And so a lot of friends and family members of mine, as Paul and Monica was saying earlier, is that it's personal. So when you see people leaving this earth and you're thinking that you're going to have another 20, 30, 40, even 50 years with them, hunting, fishing, laughing and joking, Sunday dinners, watching the game and things like that, and is taken away from you just in a blink or a snap simply because we're not proactive and we're allowing fear to take over. And so it affects us. It makes a lot of aspirations and dreams and goals go to the richest place on the planet, which is a graveyard.
Yeah.
And so I stole that from somebody, by the way, but it is so true.
It is true.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, like, while you live and live, and give yourself the best opportunity to be successful at whatever your passions are, become a kid again. And it's hard to do that if you're going through a lot of suffering and pain or what have you. So we have to get over our fear. We have to get over that stigma, and we have to get over what other people are trying to do to us and just take control of our lives. And one way that I approached it was, I have this tool and this resource in film that I'm passionate about, because it gives us not only a voice, but a vision to be able to put out for the rest of the world to see. And I think a lot of times in this world, it's becoming so image-based right now. You don't have to hear anything. If you see some bling, if you see some people doing something really sexy or cool or whatnot, it takes you there. And when you can have both, and when you have all your senses about you, basically taking you to a place that you did not want to go or think about, and knowing at the end of it, there's the other side of it, either positive or even more positive, is the way I looked at it. And so when Monica brought this opportunity to me, I was like, man, there's no way we can pass it up. We have to do the most with it while we have the opportunity. And what you don't have, it'll still be on the planet for you tomorrow to pick up along your way. So start now, just like going to get screened. So that's right. The way I think about it. That's what was on my mind.
Monica, what was on your mind when you were writing this? And I know when you all were filming, you sent me a clip, and it was just so professionally done, straight to the point. You had people that they were living, right? Life was good. They were planning and having plans, and then he gets a call. His mom has been on him about it. Can you tell us a little about the project without telling us everything about the project, from your inspiration to what you hope for to happen after people watch the clip?
Again, my inspiration, my father was definitely the inspiration of it. We have to close this health disparity gap, and creatively, I thought that would be a good way to start. As far as the mother being concerned, we just wanted to paint a picture that everyone is concerned. Everyone is concerned. And whereas a lot of times men will say, oh, she's just nagging me. Oh, no, not you again, And every stop that you go, someone is concerned and asking you, about this situation, or letting you know that it's that time, and to make a move.
And that's a great point, because I want to ask Paul, were people in your family, was your wife or other people that love you, friends, family, nagging you about that process and to go get tested? Because like you said, you went for something else.
Well, yeah, my mom was really, she just retired. She's a nurse, was a nurse in over the region. She was a nurse director pretty much. And so she knew those things, and what she did was she made sure the doctor was the right doctor, made sure the diagnosis was the right diagnosis, sent her everything. She going to, make sure that all those things are correct, and make sure that, the surgery was the right thing for us. And so, yeah, I think everybody was concerned once, found out what to do. And but the ultimate part of it is you just gotta, you can make time. You can make time for anything that you want to do. I think it's more nervousness than anything of going to get tested or going to find out. The worry shouldn't do it. Again, you got to look at the bigger picture. Your life, your family, the goals that you still want to do, your children, you want to be around for that. You want to see your great grands. So the few minutes that you're going to take out for the testing is nothing. And I mean, people lay off a job for nothing, just to not go in. And so you can not go in and go to get tested. It's something that's going to last you a lifetime. So it's really no excuse to not going to get tested. It's really none.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people come with a ton of excuses why they're not going to go get tested. They're scared, and it's always worse in our minds than it is when it happens in reality, because we already painted the worst picture humanly possible. And then you get there and it's not nearly as bad, because this is not anything new. Medicine has come a long way. Technology has come a long way with the treatment and detection of prostate cancer. And there is so many resources, so much help. And I love that you all did this video. Paul, I love that you're sharing your story. So Monica, what are your hopes that when people watch this video that looks like probably 30-40% of the country are these people with companies and wives, and this guy was doing amazing work, but he didn't want to take off, and he was upset that people kept nagging him. So what do you want people to get from watching Get Screened?
To make it a matter of importance, make your health important, and that you matter. Your health matters to everyone around you, because, we need you, that's basically why the female lead, played by Eureka Lucas, was so adamant about having a conversation about it, because without that, they needed, the character needs to know that he is supported. And every man that's going through that process and that will face that process needs to know that they have a support system, whether that's your significant other or just your family in general. You are supported. So that's why we just really need to normalize that conversation. And then also we wanted to give men a reason. When you look at your family, if you have children, you look at your children, you look at just everyone who loves you, and you say, you know what? This little test here is worth, the discomfort, as Paul says, it's worth whatever it is. I can't speak to that. I'll never be able to speak to that. But we're right there for you to help you. Through it.
So Paul, let me ask you this. How intense should we be as the woman in a man's life that we're trying to convince them and encourage them to go be tested? Because once it starts sounding like nagging to them, I think they're going to do the reverse every time. So how can we, from your perspective as a male, and you too, Renzo, how can we massage that conversation so it's not coming off as we're nagging you, but it's just us showing our love? We don't want love to look like control. We want love to look and feel like love and concern.
Here's the thing here. Because this is centered towards communities of color, I'm pretty sure that what sounds like nagging to a lot of men of color is indeed love.
Yeah.
Basically it just says that, hey, I love you so much that I'm gonna keep reminding you. It's kind of like taking out the trash. Did you take out the trash yet? Did you okay, it's 8:00. Did you take out the trash? So
the trash is running tomorrow.
I'm sorry, brothers. We're gonna nag you, but we're gonna nag you lovingly if that's our love language.
But I don't think
sure, we're gonna talk about it. Because we want you to do it.
You could. It's a way to talk about anything.
Yeah.
True.
It's the tones of it. It's
Right.
the even if you have to say, look, come, let's go to the store and take them to the hospital. I mean, sometimes we do need a swift kick in the behind to do stuff.
Exactly.
To do it, but I think it's always most men. You're with that person or whoever because you already care for them.
Yeah.
And they know they care for you.
Right. And
they can lead you 99% of the time to do it. But it's always a way to talk to someone that is not like, hey, let's go. Look, even, some people talk to you, look, you're not dying on me. I ain't got time for that. Let's go. Matter of fact, get in the car, I'll take you.
Right now.
Yeah. I already set the appointment up. You ain't got to do all that. I done did that. Let's go. So you got to look at it in that regard of, I think from a lady's point, it's not nagging. It's just concern. And you can tell them, look, I'm not nagging you. I'm just concerned about your health. I want you around.
We're speaking candidly and culturally as well.
Yeah.
And you can call it nagging. You can call it soft. I'm giving the soft approach or whatever. Baby, I need you to go take this test.
Yeah.
I need you to go take this test. Now,
Come
if
on.
we're gonna keep living life and going through life, how we gonna do it? I need you to take this test, and I'm riding with you. So
Yeah.
And then
that's the conversation. In looking and viewing the video, you'll find that she too is accomplished. She is beautiful. She loves her man. She loves her family, and she just wants him around. She wants him to take that time out to go and get screened.
hey,
And
I can tell you
whatever
this.
she needs
If
to
she,
do, she's
Okay,
there.
You know
come on, guys. Let's hear from the guys.
Yeah, you know
but,
something
you know,
go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know something that's funny as I'm sitting here listening to Paul, obviously, especially because we have something in common.
Right.
I think
And
like,
I'm
I love
the
the
odd
question.
man out. That's a woman.
Well, it's even kill. But you know, it goes back to I love the question that Loretta asked, and it's like, you know, what can the women in our lives do? Sisters, I mean, it doesn't matter. Your nieces, everybody for whatever reason has a reason to want the men in their lives to go get checked out to make sure that
Right,
they're
to be
there.
healthy and to live.
Exactly. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't need a man. I don't need this. I don't need that," until you do. And
Yeah.
so, and the same thing with us. And so,
Yeah.
but I think the thing that's beautiful about it is I love what Paul was saying, what Renee was saying about the nagging part or whatever. And in our community, a lot of times that's, like I said, that's a regular Monday. But the thing about it is when you stop hearing them say, "Go get checked out," after they've been saying it for a long time. I'm gonna tell you what would work with me. You say it enough times and get on my nerves, and most of us, to be honest with you, we are smart. We know that what the people in our lives, are saying is true, but we're trying to get over ourselves is what's going on with it. But when she gets quiet and she starts not being weird, but just abnormal, I guess, in a sense, it makes you start to think. And another way, I believe in pictures. Everything I talk about, I see in front of me, hence the profession that I'm in. And so if you see, like, my significant other, she's always watching a certain type of show on television. And if I see her not watch that type of show on television anymore when she's got time to do it, it's kind of, I'm questioning it. Like, well, why are you not watching your regular, pardon me, trash TV or whatever the case may be? But if it was about a show about health and things like that, and she's always on me about going to check it out and go get myself checked out or whatever, and then all of a sudden she's not watching that show anymore, and she's not talking to me about it anymore, I feel kind of condemned. It's almost like I know she cares, but she's tired, and that would draw me out. You know what? Let's go, because
Right, that's the final
she's done
straw.
all that
Okay.
she can do. She doesn't need to say anymore because I heard her. She knows that I heard her. She's checked out, but she still cares. And so I have to honor that. And I think real men, that's what they'll go and do. So it's
You
an
know,
opportunity.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
can add on to that. Now I can add on from a standpoint for me, or I say most men. And Renzo, I bet you say yes too. You know, when she get to that point of saying, "Go ahead, go on and die. We just spend your money and go and hang out with somebody else." Oh shoot, we go to the immediately.
Touchdown.
Now that's
That's
Or
a
your
good
case,
one.
We got life
3-point
insurance.
play.
Go ahead, go.
That's a good one.
That's absolutely right. I started to say that, Paul, but I was like, I ain't gonna go there because that might be another episode.
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the first one was,
Another episode.
yeah,
What's that,
yeah.
Renee?
Oh my God. I'm telling, I cannot believe our time is up. We have had this conversation. It was amazing. I hope people get a lot out of it. We'll make sure they get the link. It's going to air when the show airs on TV. But that video, how many minutes is it, Monica? But it's so powerful. It should be an entire movie, a documentary or something. I want it more.
Something's coming. Something's in the works for it. It's approximately
Absolutely.
6 minutes. It's maybe 5.5. And let me just say really, really quickly, we had an incredible team. Renzo, Eureka Alukas, Michael Bailey, who was just on the spot immediately.
Absolutely.
A great support cast with KYE administration. Yvette Dulce with hair and makeup.
Absolutely.
Rick, picks by Rick for behind the scenes. So it's really a great project, but it's definitely a project that was done out of love and concern for communities of color and the men that are within them. So we just definitely want, at the end of the day, you to take care of your health and get screened.
Yeah. Wow, we didn't even talk about one of your goals for the project is for urologists and people who take care of men and families that are going through that, so that people can have access to this footage, because it is so encouraging. It is so straight to the point on, it is every day. People should be having this conversation every day until they get the right results that they want. Whether it's the diagnosis that you have cancer or if you don't, keep getting checked. And then if you do have the diagnosis, then there's steps and there's help and there's resources. And that video walks you through that. So I can't wait for people to watch it. Thank you all so much for being my guest today. We got to do a part 2.
Thank you.
Because this conversation can go on much longer for sure.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you get even more cancer.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Come back anytime.
All right. Sooner rather than later.
Right.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to do this again. Well, thank you for your time. I'm going to close out for us, and we're going to have that video plugged in. But thank you all so much for the work you're doing to save lives, to change lives, and to just make sure we all can make a valid, informed decision. So thank you for that work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So, this is not my favorite part when everybody has to go, but they do have to go, and I have to go, and you got to go. But I hope enough was said and shared that makes you say, you know what? I'm going to nag him till I just stop nagging him and tell him, okay, don't go get checked. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And then they run and get checked. But whatever you got to do, be relentless. Be relentless to get your man, your loved one, your son, your husband, your granddad, whoever it is, to the doctor. Monica, thank you for putting this together. And you know how to say this with me, Monica. In closing,
Oh my goodness.
be positive, dream big dreams. Help someone along the way.
way.
And guess what? We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.